Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you a method for scanning in photographic slides for sale on eBay and other venues. I'm Brian and I run a small business called McDuff's Cool Stuff, and I post videos on selling online with tips and suggestions to make selling a bit easier. And today we're going to talk about these guys here. These are photographic slides. And you know, I wasn't really sure if these were going to be something that is profitable, but it really just kind of depends on the topic of the slides. Sometimes even the frame that's around the slide, you can see it's got this paper frame around it, which when you would mount it in a projector, that's what the projector would kind of hold on to, is this paper part here. And even that, if it says Kodachrome on it or something, it usually can boost up the sale price of it just a bit. And sometimes I just run across slides and projectors, and I think, who'd really want these things? You know, who's really projecting images on the wall? But there is a market for them. I'm not really sure exactly what people are doing with them. Perhaps they're scanning them in and keeping the images for their own use. I'm not really exactly sure what they're doing with it. I guess everyone's situation is a little bit different. But I did find out that there is a market, and if you do have some of these, you have to deal with them in some way if you're going to try and sell them, to try and make a few bucks out of them. And you know, you just run into people that just want to get rid of them. They may just give them to you. You never really know what the situation you're going to run into, or how you acquire them. And I got the slides that I have here. I have 36 slides that kind of came into me as part of a larger bundle about some cameras and other things that came in the same box. So I just bought the whole box, and there were these slides in there. So I'm going to see if I can try and list them to make some money on them. And I put them into groups of 8 or 9 slides, kind of grouped together by the subject. They're all very similar subjects. They're all just people in the backyard. So we'll see how that goes for me. But to take a picture of a slide, to get it onto your computer, you just can't just simply hold up this slide here and just take a picture of it. There has to be some kind of light that would shine from behind it, and then that is actually what you'll be taking your picture of. And so I'm going to show you what to do with these, from just taking the slide, and you put it on a light source. I'll show you my light source here in a moment. And then you'll need something like this. This is just a box. It's like about 4 by 6 inches. You could use an Amazon box, you know, something you get in the mail, something small. It doesn't have to be this size. This one just happened to fit over my light source pretty nicely. And I left the top open here. I closed the 2 shorter flaps, and I taped them down right over the larger flaps, and so you can see right through it and everything. This is where you're going to be putting the camera, and it'll rest right on top of here, so it's not all moving around and shaking while you're trying to take the photos. And then you would put your light source underneath it on the table, and then you take your photos from on top. So I'll show you how that works here in just a moment. And here you can see my light source. It's just a light that I use for my photos when I take pictures for my listings. It's a rather small one, but you could use an iPhone or an iPad even, and just some kind of light to be behind it that's flat. And so you put your slide on there, put your little homemade blind over the top, and then you want to position your phone right in the center where the opening is. However, you do want to make sure that the phone is set to square mode. Now it just depends on your phone where that is. On iPhone, you just swipe up and then choose square from the aspect ratio, and then you'll place your phone right where it belongs, about in the center of it all, and zoom in the best you can and take your picture. The zooming in is not super important. You do want to get as close as you can. It's still looking good, but you're going to edit the photos anyway. Well, here are my photos that I've taken, I've scanned in, and this one way over here on the bottom right is the one that we just scanned in a moment ago. And I'm using a Mac, and whenever I take a picture with my phone, it automatically uploads it to the photo app on my Mac. So it's a real easy way to get your photos from your phone into your computer without having to connect anything. If you are using Windows, you would have to find out how to get the photos from your camera or phone onto your computer so you can edit them down. But the editing process is probably very similar, I would think. So these are all my photos here, and this is the one we took. I'm going to open that one up here. And what I'm going to do is take the tools that are available to me, and I'm going to try and crop this down a bit to get as much of the paper slide holder out of the picture as much as possible. Most of the time you'll want to trim these down to square dimensions. When you take a picture, it's not a perfect square. One side's gonna be longer than the other. So I'm going to do is click the edit button here, and then I'm going to go to crop. Now if you happen to take the picture kind of crooked, you can also adjust it as well. Tip it left and right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and just click square. So it gives me a square proportions. And I'm going to bring the corners down here. And I'll bring this corner up a bit here. And you see what it does. It's going to crop off a little bit of the edge, which is okay. And then I'm going to take the photo and bring it down just a bit so we get rid of the text that was on the slide itself. And that's kind of what we'll be left with. And so I'm going to go over here and click done. And then we're going to take that photo, and I have a folder that I keep my eBay photos in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take one. Say I had another one over here too, and I wasn't too happy with it, so I'm going to take this one now, and I'm just going to drag it into that folder. Okay, and then it should show up here. There it is. And there's our photo. It's ready to go into eBay. And you can put in, I believe, up to 12 photos at a time. Now, I made another video on how to add more than 12 photos into your eBay listings, and I will link to that in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, or if you'd like to leave a comment, of course you can subscribe. I always appreciate that. And thanks for watching, everyone. And if you have any requests for a video you'd like to learn something more about listing things online or eBay in general, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to answer questions. Thanks.